Hey guys, I think we should start this video with the most important thing, as in how do you pronounce the word? How do you pronounce the brand name?
Oh yeah, even I wasn't sure about that. So during the presentation, the product presentation, they said that is Husqvarna.
Husqvarna. So it's not
Husqvarna.
It's not Husqvarna. On that note, let's start the video. So we are here to talk about the Husqvarna Svartpilen 401. Back, it's updated, there's a lot of new things on it. It's finally resembling a motorcycle that we really look forward to ride. The earlier version seemed a little bit tiny, especially tall, broad riders looked very uncomfortable on it. The new version, the Svartpilen 401. First impressions, we'll break down into different sections as we go along.
Yeah.
But what are the first impressions? The earlier one had the problem of dimensions and
it was very tiny, right? Like, it didn't have any presence at all. Like if someone sits on the bike, no one would notice the bike at all.
Exactly. So how's the new version?
On the bike. As per Husqvarna, they said that they have increased the dimension of all the body parts by 20%.
Okay.
So it is a bit considerably has more presence.
Okay.
But it's a bit bigger. I think this bigger design should be
more acceptable
by people.
Yeah.
And
because you're like 6'1", right? And when you're riding the bike, it looked still like
all bikes look tiny.
But then even the previous version, I don't even want to talk about it. But the current one. It looks proper for you. I mean, yes, you sit tall on it, but it did not look tiny.
It didn't look odd.
Ergonomics were good. You're comfortable on it.
Yeah, so I was really surprised. So I thought that I'll be too cramped on the bike.
Okay.
Surprisingly enough, I was still comfortable on the bike, and we rode the bike for like almost half a day and almost around like 60-70 kilometers. And I didn't find any issues or
you were comfortable.
Anything. I was really comfortable on the bike, and the saddle is also very soft. And that made the experience even more.
So basically, this new the Husqvarna Svartpilen 401, it's basically the new Duke platform, the new 390 platform that has been swapped in, and you have the chassis and everything. It's everything is the same. To me, it is Duke 390, which looks different and
with a different clothing.
With a different clothing. So is it really that? I mean, do you feel the?
It is exactly that. I can't comment on the performance part comparing to the new Gen 390 because I haven't ridden it still. But it was really good, especially the handling. It is very precise and very aggressive. So like if you want to lean in or something, it just
helps you. And it just processes. I mean, okay, you want to do it, okay, I'll help you, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the new 390 platform, I'll just take a few points off the new Duke so that let's see if that matches, because I was lucky to ride it recently. The bottom end felt much more stronger than the previous generation Duke 390. So how is the bottom end on this one? I mean, from what we have heard or what the Bajaj guys told us, the gearing ratios, everything is exactly the same.
Yeah, ECU tuning, gearing ratio, everything is as on the Duke 390 third gen. So I was really surprised by the new platform. Because on the second gen Dukes, we couldn't carry low speeds in higher gears and stuff and all. In this bike, it completely feels like a different bike, if you ask me, compared to the old gen, second gen Duke. Because I could be at like 40-30 kmph in like third, fourth gears and all.
Without any jerking?
No jerking, no knocking from the engine. It was totally fine.
Now, how about refinement? What was your take on it?
I think the refinement levels were pretty similar to the second gen Dukes. Because I ride a second gen Duke myself. It's my daily commuter. I felt that the refinement levels were pretty similar. Yeah.
And what about, so now there's a slight bump up with the power, with the increase in capacity. And did you feel that extra bump in power, and did it come at a cost of refinement, or was it more fun to ride, or what is your take on it?
I felt that the new platform is a bit relaxed compared to the old one, because the old one was more over-squared, the engine was more over-squared, and it would rev very quickly. But this takes a bit of time to get to the punch.
But my experience with the Duke was the new 390 platform was like it's still doing those speeds, but
Yeah.
it's not as dramatic as before.
Yeah, it feels relaxed. a
Yeah.
bit, yeah.
Okay. So the Husqvarna, the Svartpilen, it's like that. I mean, same character.
Yeah. You feel like you're in control all the time, but
Okay.
in the second gen, it's like once you hit the power band, it's like you'll have to hold on to the bike. It's like that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, one thing I did not particularly like in the previous generation Svartpilen, it's a 250, but still, was that the front felt incredibly light. So you take it above 100, any small undulation on the road, and you sort of it translates into something really big on the handlebar, and it feels incredibly light, especially high speeds.
Okay.
Above 100. So did this feel planted? How are the?
Well, I didn't have any issues with the front. The front felt really planted,
Okay.
and I was really surprised because I thought the Pirelli Scorpion STR tires
Yeah,
wouldn't
the on-off
perform so
road,
well
yeah.
in curves and stuff and all. But I was really surprised to see that it had so much grip.
Even on tarmac, it was.
Yeah, I was like having the time of my life
Good
riding in the
fun.
Lavasa Ghats. Yeah, at any point I didn't feel like the front would let go or
Yeah, it was totally.
there was
good.
no chatter, nothing.
Okay.
It was really
And
good.
speaking about on-off road, how did it feel off the road as well? The suspensions are pretty much kind of stiff. as
Yeah,
we
so
know.
we got to ride the bike in city conditions a bit, in traffic, good flowing corners, and also in some off-road conditions.
Okay.
Just to see how the Scrambler name, how it takes
Yeah.
up to the Scrambler name basically. What I found was off-road is, I would say, it's just like any other bike.
Yeah, it can do it, but
It has the tires for
For
it,
it,
but
Yeah,
the
this is-
low ground clearance and everything.
the ground
comes
clearance
into
actually has been improved.
It's
from
been
the
improved,
yeah,
but
from
still,
the-
it's not like
yeah,
off-roadable.
it's just 177 mm if I remember
Right.
correctly. But yeah, off-road you need a lot more.
And it doesn't even suit the standing stance for off-road, so because the handlebars are low,
So it's basically
you
like
can't grip the tank with your legs while
yeah,
standing.
like proper scrambler. You just whack the throttle.
Yeah, when you're on the saddle,
Yeah.
off-roading is fine.
Yeah, basically
Light
something
off-roading.
where you want to keep sliding the rear tire and just having fun.
But
No-
it doesn't suit for medium or
no jumps
heavy
and things
off-roading.
like that. Yeah. And build quality, does the KTM build quality translate over to the Husqvarnas as well?
Oh yeah, the build quality was really good. I didn't find anything off, kind of. All the finishes and everything was really good.
Okay.
Design-wise as well, it reminds me of the old Nuda 900R.
Yeah, much more raw. Yeah.
Yes, the same design language is carried on to the 701 Husky as well.
Yeah.
So that's a very nice, striking, unique looking bike that I was really surprised to see. Yeah.
And what about pillion seat? I think the previous generation, the 250s, had like.
Oh yeah, I think in the previous generation
There's-
you didn't have any space for the pillion.
It's like a
if you wore a
laptop.
backpack and
That's it.
sat on the bike, no one could sit on the pillion
This
seat.
one had more space.
So yeah, they made sure that the pillion gets
Has
more space,
space, okay.
and comfort this time. So that's a good thing.
What about characters like refinement, like off the road or on the road? Did you feel any spot, like RPM range where things did not gel well?
I think from what I've heard about the third gen Duke 390, it's pretty similar where you feel some vibrations at around 5,000-6,000 RPM. Otherwise, it's not really noticeable.
Okay,
It's pretty refined.
it's much more ironed out now
Yes,
than previous
yes.
generations. So now coming to braking, okay, we got the Pirelli tires, but it is kind of on-off road tires. Did that impact the road braking in any way?
The braking was very good. The brakes have good feel,
Okay.
and it is very progressive as well. The rear brakes don't perform really well during hard braking because of the Pirelli Scorpion tires,
So
I suppose.
they tend to jitter a little bit.
Yeah, they slide a bit and jitter a bit because of the pattern of the tires.
Tires, yeah.
You really don't get a feel of when it starts slipping.
Okay.
So there's no feedback.
There's no
that you
feedback.
get.
Yeah, but usually we tend to see the rear is kind of always. I'm talking about all bikes and not just.
Yeah, but on a Duke you can feel when it starts sliding.
Okay.
But in this it's like you feel it a bit later.
Probably the
And that's just because of the tires, not the brakes.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood. And what about top speeds and 0 to 100 accelerations?
I didn't get a chance to hit the top speed where I was riding, but the 0 to 100 acceleration times are really good. It felt really quick. The quick shifter helps in reaching 100 really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does it work at lower RPMs? Like you needed minimum like 3,000-4,000 RPM.
I was really surprised by the performance of the quick shifter because I never had any issues with it, and I kind of tend to use the clutch a lot because I ride the second gen Duke 390.
Okay.
And it took me some time to get used to
okay, I don't need to do it.
quick shifter because I'm not used to auto blipper yet. And this is a bidirectional quick shifter. So both ways it was functioning really good at low and high RPMs as well.
Okay, nice. And let's stick on with electronics. So you have ABS that is switchable.
Right.
Traction control as well.
Yes.
Is the traction control switchable?
Yes, you can turn off the traction control.
Okay.
As well. Yeah.
And there's no cornering ABS, right?
Yeah. So this bike does not get the IMU that the third gen Duke 390 has.
Okay.
So there's no cornering ABS and cornering traction control.
Okay.
Other than that, you have ABS, which is switchable to off-road mode as well.
Okay.
And the quick shifter, which can be
turned off
as well.
Okay.
Along with that, the Indian version gets only one riding mode, which is the street riding mode.
Okay.
So you can't change it.
Okay. The international version gets more riding mode.
Yes. So it gets a rain mode. The international versions get a rain mode as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is something that we miss out.
One thing which I at least visually miss out on is the circular display the original Svartpilen had. This one is called, more the conventional LCD display.
Yeah, this is more rectangular, just like the Dukes. But it has a very nice layout and color combination. So
I like the color combination.
It's very refreshing and
it's not overdone.
The information
it's very clean,
is also very well displayed so that you can look at it in a glance and understand what's happening. Yeah.
So one important thing that a lot of people on the previous version, the previous 250, had an issue with also apart from the dimension was the seat height. It was quite high, 840 change.
Yeah, it was 844 mm on the older version. And they brought down the seat height to 820 mm.
Okay.
I checked with a few riders who were of shorter height than me, and they felt that it was pretty comfortable.
No,
they didn't have any issues.
No issues. So that's good.
Yeah. Tried to address all the issues that the old Svartpilen and the Svartpilen had. So basically, the tank capacity was very less.
It was
like around 9 liters.
9.7 something.
That wouldn't give you much range, right? COVID was another thing that hit the sales of the old model.
Yeah.
Pillion seat.
I felt by default the bike was too tiny.
Very small. So they've addressed all these issues in the new model. List of things that they improved is the tank capacity. So it's now 13 liters, 13.5 liters. Okay. And the seat height is reduced to 820 mm. The ground clearance also has gone up from the previous model.
Okay.
It's right now at around 177 mm.
177,
if I'm not wrong. Yeah. The pillion comfort is also improved with the bigger pillion seat.
So basically, they have taken everything that was wrong with the previous generation
and they've corrected it.
And they added the new 390 platform onto it.
Exactly.
Built it off it basically.
Yeah, it's basically a completely new bike if you ask me. Yeah.
For me, it almost looks like you want the performance of a 390, but you thought the 390 looked too radical. You have this Svartpilen.
Exactly. So the 390 is for some aimed at like very young generation riders and that kind of demographic. But the Husky would be for someone who wants to stand out of the crowd because it's very different looking, right? Yeah. We don't have any bikes that
look like that. Yeah. Like at the same time, you have the performance of the 390.
Along with the performance of the 390. So
I'm a big fan of the new 390 platform, by the way.
I'm waiting to get a chance to ride the.
I'm a big fan of that. It really. Do watch our review video on that. You'll see how happy I am with it.
Very good platform.
So guys, in short, if you love the performance of the 390 and you love the new platform of the 390 and how powerful and fun and fast it is, but you always thought the design is too radical or too young for you, too sharp for you, you have the Husqvarna Svartpilen 401 to basically, a calmer version, a calmer looking version, and more invisible version, stealth version to have fun on without compromising on anything else. And of course, you have a more flexible tire option to do some funny stuff.
Off-roading if you
So guys, that's what the new Husqvarna Svartpilen 401 is all about. If you have any questions, do let us know below. We are also trying to ride the new Svartpilen 250, but let's see when that comes up, and hopefully soon. So stay tuned, stay subscribed, and we'll catch you later.